Last week we had the Tucker Carlson Vladimir Putin interview, and I found that whole process fascinating. More than the interview, I found that week fascinating. Because leading up to it, everyone said, Tucker, Russian spy, Putin's lapdog, blah, 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 blah. And then they went nuts. Hillary Clinton was on the news. They just lost their shit about Tucker potentially interviewing Vladimir Putin. And then the interview happened. And it was not as bombastic as people expected. Actually, Putin put himself as, I'm a Russia first guy. I'm going to force you to learn Russian history. And this is how I think. And on behalf of the Russian people, I'm going to speak. And we as Americans were waiting for Putin to tell us our system is broken. We were waiting for Putin to tell us, look at your policies, they're broken. We were looking for that validation from the opposing leader. And I'm like, two things. One, we are so lacking of leadership and we are so sick of losing that we're waiting for the enemy to tell us we're winning. And two, there is no way Joe Biden could sit there for 2 hours and do an interview.
No, but that's the thing that's interesting because Putin is idolized by many conservatives in the West, not because they love Russia, but because he is competent and he's nationalistic. Two simple things. He's competent, he knows what he's doing, and he loves his country. Isn't it amazing that in the West you have to idolize the enemy leader for the basic tenets of competence and nationalism? As America, you should have a competent nationalistic leader and you shouldn't have any interest in Putin. But you're right. The conservatives and many people who understand how the world works was looking for Putin to tell the truth about how broken the West is. And he didn't do that. And they were very disappointed in the interview because they thought that he was interested in coming along and educating the American public on the insanity of the American system. But he made it also very clear that America is going to treat him like a forever enemy. And he's happy with how the system currently works in America now. He just said after the interview, he said a few days ago, I want Joe Biden to be president. He's a very seasoned statesman and he's been in politics for a long time. What he's saying is, I want America to fail. Everything he refused to tell Americans the truth because he doesn't want to interrupt his enemy when they're making a mistake. And he wants Biden to be president because he loves the Biden presidency because he's not afraid of America anymore. So if your enemy, and you could argue about whether America and Russia should even be enemies in the first place, but if your enemy is advocating for you to continue down the path you're going, doesn't that say a lot in regards to the path you're currently undertaking? And yeah, you're right. It's kind of crazy that Americans were sitting there looking for the leader of a foreign nation to highlight the insanity of America because there's not a single American leader who will do it. Or, you go deeper down the rabbit hole, can do it.
Join Tate's Telegram to get notified when the full interview drops. Link in description.